the handsome Andrew Chow.
Hello, and this is the lovely Patty Lee.
Thank you. So, Andrew, are you ready to be wild today?
I can't wait.
Let's see what we got.
Whoa!
Oh, our new friend.
Our new friend, Kubat.
Hello.
Uh-oh.
This way, buddy.
You good? Oh,
Come here. What do you have today?
Okay. He hasn't. Oh, wow. Very camera aware. He knows the angles. Look at that.
And I know this.
Oh! Who's the lucky one? Who's the lucky one? Who's the lucky one?
Who's the lucky one? I wish I had one.
Well, let's let the people know what we're talking about after this short clip.
Let's get married.
Wedding photos are such a staple of Taiwanese weddings that we've even had advertisements for them on cable TV. Their existence is so ingrained that newlyweds even go to the extent to rent multiple wedding gowns and outfits, as well as hiring entire professional photography crews. According to numbers published by the Taiwanese government, the average wedding costs about $24,700 US. That amount being roughly the same as the annual income of the average 30-year-old office worker. Aside from the expenses, there are also many customs and traditions to keep in mind when it comes to having a traditional Taiwanese wedding. For instance, people should avoid getting married when there's the number 9 in their age, namely when they are 19, 29, 39, or so on. In the traditional sense, 9 is a year of challenge before entering the next phase of life, and is therefore not an appropriate time to be making big decisions. To this date, many traditional rituals are still practiced widely, such as picking up the bride, setting off firecrackers, bidding farewell to the parents, throwing a fan. What exactly is behind these complicated and seemingly unnecessary rituals? What were the intentions and perhaps blessings in people's minds when these traditions came about? Let's find out.
Thank you, everybody, for coming to me and Andrew's wedding.
Yes. This is our child,
Yes.
Wild Taiwan.
Jiapian. Want to take a peek?
I know, right?
Taiwanese bride cake.
Thanks.
So, Andrew, what is this?
That's a
wedding
cake.
cake.
It's kind of like an equivalent of a wedding cake, right? Like, I mean, sipi.
Oh, thank
It's a
you.
wedding cake.
Wedding
This
cake.
more like something.
The bride's
Thank you,
cake.
谢谢.
It's sharing our happiness with
God.
all of the guests.
This is happiness for
Yeah.
sure.
That's very nice of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Oh, yeah, no, you don't want to eat that.
So, getting married in Taiwan.
Yeah.
I happened to just attend one wedding
Your sisters.
last week. Yes, my sisters. And it was such a hassle.
Really?
So many things to
yeah.
do. They prepared for like almost 6 months. And both traditional and Western style.
Oh, a fusion.
My God,
Oh, wow.
they went crazy about that because the husband side wanted it very traditional, but my sister, she grew up in New Zealand, and she's like very Western style. So it was a fusion.
That sounds like conflict.
But it's commonly seen in Taiwan, the fusion style.
Right.
So, everybody is married here, except for me.
Mate.
Oh, stop. Have another piece.
Thank you.
For the luck.
I definitely need luck.
So how is getting married in Taiwan like? The couple here got married in Taiwan.
I think it's because, like I said, for us, we also want to have a fusion. So we wanted to have some Western and Taiwanese culture stuff too.
Right.
It's like you said, it's a hassle.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things to do.
Tell us about it.
Yeah.
And there were some parts that me and my wife, we got in an argument also. So, but that was actually more for the performance part, because on our wedding, you know, since we added the Western style, we wanted to make it I guess, more of our style.
Like a party.
Like a party.
scene,
Right, because you're young people, right?
They
You want
are.
it to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
happy
I
and
don't want those
exciting.
like traditional things.
Your mom did, though. But anyway,
AJ, where are you from?
I'm from Atlanta.
Okay.
Wow, all the way to Taiwan, right? Just to
For
get
me. For you for love.
Love.
I like to travel, too.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
So this is just a happy coincidence, then,
Yeah,
huh?
of course. You know, just traveling, bump
Like a
through,
package deal, huh?
yeah.
A package deal that kept him here.
It was a good deal. It's a good deal.
Hey, but I've heard that brides turn into bridezillas when they get married.
Yeah, sometimes I do. You know, they start wanting a whole bunch of things. And
Lillian, you have something to say?
Cause it's like too much things we need to do. Like stuff from like a wedding, like a who gonna come, and also like a wedding photo,
Yeah.
and like a wedding dress, and wedding cookies, and like
everything.
everything. And whatever I ask him, he say, oh, it's fine. You up to you. Hey, the guys always like that.
no, that
He's
was
like,
in the beginning until
Yeah.
I knew. Like, nah, not this. This is okay.
Okay. You learned quick. You learned quick.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about more on the wedding later on,
Yeah.
your stories and everything.
Giovanni?
Well, I also had a fusion marriage, you know. I really like the idea of having the Taiwanese part in it. Because actually my wife, although she's Taiwanese, she was more into the Western stuff, but I knew that if we're not gonna do the Taiwanese part, her parents are gonna feel like kind of left behind, or
Right.
you know. So I really wanted to have the tradition side and the modern side. So that was pretty cool that we did, yeah.
It was fun for you, right, to see the really
Oh, yeah.
traditional Taiwanese way.
Actually, I enjoyed much more the Taiwanese than the Western.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
it was much more fun.
In one day.
Yeah, you can do it in one day. Yeah.
That sounds like a busy day.
Yes. Busiest day of the year.
What about Enzo?
My marriage, I got married February 15.
This year?
No, it's been 14 years. 14 years ago.
I was like, oh, that's fresh.
Yeah, 14 years ago. We got married in a court here. We did, mostly it was like a court marriage, and then we did a party just for friends. Actually, we didn't have we did mostly was a Western way to do it. So we didn't have really a Taiwanese, but I've been to some Taiwanese weddings.
So it was just like the registration and then the meal with the friends, and then
my
you guys all
mother-in-law came.
Okay.
You know, we did that, and then the same day I had to go perform because I'm a musician.
Did you perform at your own wedding?
No, actually not. I did not. But I had a performing at nighttime, so we got married, and then we just went back to work at nighttime.
Well, that sounds easy.
Right.
That's
That's
nice flow.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
it
right.
was really enjoyable.
Cultural shock at
Yeah.
a wedding.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot. Not just foreigners and Taiwanese, but also to our generation.
Yeah, even like with North and South.
Yes,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
much differences. So Stefano,
Yeah.
Stefano, you're the expert.
Right.
I am.
You've been to, have you count how many weddings you've been to?
I think it's more 400 couples.
300 couples.
400
Good.
Wow.
I'm so sorry. That was really rude of me. I'm so sorry.
You know nothing. He's the Cupid. What are the conflicts that happen most in a wedding?
Well, usually what happens on every aspect, to be honest. Or you can start with the food and also the dress you
Yes.
just put on, and also the things, the taboos that you actually don't know. You have no idea
That's
that
so
you're
important.
actually violating
Yes,
that.
yes.
So that's is a long story.
Long story.
We'll talk about it later.
Hey, but the most confusing, I think, for foreigners are choosing the dates.
Oh yeah.
We have a lunar calendar.
Yeah.
And we have every day suitable for doing this and never do this on that day.
You can move
Like-
this day. You can
Oh,
start a
yeah.
new job this day.
Yes. Like this. This is so complicated.
Oh yeah.
That's so
Oh my God.
complicated.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like Chinese to
Looks Chinese to me.
Very,
It doesn't look like
Yes.
Chinese to me. It looks
it's
like
very
Egyptian.
intimidating.
Well, let's go to the expert, Stefano. Explain for us, please.
It's quite straightforward, to be honest. If you look at that, you see all the lines. You see them in red and black.
Okay.
It's very straightforward. Just do the things in red.
Okay.
Right.
In black.
That's all in red.
It's easier for you guys. nice, right?
I think people are super serious about that stuff. When I went for my wedding, it was so hard because all these very nice dates, the red dates,
Yes.
were all already taken long
Right.
time ago.
Booking the hotel,
in advance.
banquets and everything.
And the few that were left were like so expensive. It's like,
Right, so don't blame the brides. Right? They get crazy. It's normal. Stressful.
Blame the calendar.
Blame the calendar.
Correct.
On the big day, there's so much things to do, right?
Right.
Andrew, you grew up in Taiwan and
did.
America, but your family is from?
My family's from Hong Kong. My
Yes.
dad's side. My dad's side. So like I know a little bit of like some like universal Chinese traditions in terms of like the thing, but in Taiwan you have a whole laundry list of more things, right? The only thing I know in common is the tea ceremony. Like the feng cha.
Tea serving,
Serving the
yes,
tea, yeah,
yes,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
important. Serving to the elders.
Yeah, your
in the
future
family.
father-in-law and mother-in-laws.
Yes.
Right.
What does it mean?
In a tea ceremony, it's actually an opportunity. Well, for many cases, in many cases, that may be your first time you meet with your husband's or future husband's parents.
Yes.
So that's a gesture of goodwill that you're serving the tea to them, to show your respect to them. So that's why.
Wow.
Okay. And after that, I remember last week at my sister's tea ceremony.
Yeah.
We had these, what do you call them? Tangyuan.
Oh, I don't know what that is in English.
Glutinous rice balls, like tiny ones with red and white.
Yeah, the red and white
in
ones.
it.
Tangyuan is actually, we have two styles,
Oh,
filled and unfilled.
Right.
But mostly the filling is sweet.
Okay.
When people eat something sweet, they smile. That brings happiness, good fortunes.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why.
Oh.
I know that.
Oh,
That's
Giovanni.
right.
Giovanni, you have
See
the...
those smiles?
Look at
Can you tell which one is me?
I was thinking, no, that was you.
I want to go to one with Hungary.
That's right. See, me and my brother, we never smile like that. It's just because the tangyuan we had. It was at my wife's parents' house when we did this Taiwanese ceremony. My brother came, my mom, my dad came. We did it all together, the whole family. It brought really the family together, all sitting on the sofa.
Yeah.
And it kind of, it was the first time that my parents met my wife's family.
That day.
That day, yeah, of course, because they came to Taiwan.
That's true.
And it was really interesting. The whole family, they came from Kaohsiung, which is in the south, all the way to the north. And we did this very, very fantastic ceremony. It was very interesting, though. The first time when we came in inside the house, they put the fireworks. And my mom got really scared.
Firecrackers.
The firecrackers.
It's to welcome. It's to welcome.
Yeah. Well, get rid of
Okay.
bad
Yeah,
spirits.
I
The bad
I
spirits,
know
yeah.
now.
Stefan.
Yeah, the firecracker, actually, they set off the firecrackers. Well, the sounds like big applause.
They had no idea the ceremony already started, so they had their backpacks and their luggage. So, where are we going now? Are we gonna put our luggage? And actually, the ceremony already started.
Right.
So it was a bit weird.
That's too bad.
It's like the whole day is the ceremony.
Yeah, and then we had this speaker, and I was really, I was excited to hear what she was gonna say, all these beautiful things. But she spoke in Taiwanese the whole time. Nobody had any idea
Right.
Just
what she
smile,
was
just
saying.
smile. Yes.
Just wave and smile.
And then we had the tangyuan. Beautiful.
Oh.
Yes.
Enzo, there was a story about a rice sieve, because this is a Taiwanese thing, right?
Yes.
What's
well,
a rice sieve?
Just
They have like this, that thing they put on top.
Ah,
It's been carried by the matchmaker.
Oh.
And it's kind of to have, to protect from the sun.
right.
And get like the shadow on her head. Like for, yeah.
For
It's,
protection.
yes, and actually it's a very characteristic way to do this. And yeah.
Oh, Lillian, did you have that?
Did you do this?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
The funny thing is, like, my brother, he has his wedding like a couple months ago.
Yeah, he did.
And my mom even asked, did I still have that? I said, who kept that?
Why would I keep that?
Sometimes they use a black umbrella, they say.
No, the black umbrella thing means like pregnant.
Yeah,
If you have kids, if you have
Yeah.
kids, or
Yeah.
if you're pregnant, they use a
Yeah.
black umbrella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at that, why is the rice sieve? It's because in the past, most of the people, most of the family, they made their livings by growing rice.
Right.
So the rice sieve is the easiest tool they can get.
Right.
So the intention for that is because, okay, every newlyweds or even the bride, so they have a guardian angels. So, but it can be greater than the Almighty God.
With the God.
So you have to use a sort of breaker.
Second.
To
second
show
level.
respect.
Show the respect to the God. So that's why, that's actually the true meaning behind that. In some cases, in some occasions, you see people use the black umbrellas. Okay, there's a specific meanings behind that. Look at that, a sieve is woven, made of bamboo, right?
Yes.
So you have gaps. But umbrella is a solid fabric.
Okay.
So
Doesn't get the
for
sun.
a pregnant woman, so you have a baby,
Yes.
so you don't want it to slip through to cause natural abortion.
Oh, you don't want anything bad to come
We
through
don't
the
want anything
gaps.
bad.
So wow.
So that's the reason why.
Really
Yeah.
detailed.
Wow, that is so deep.
Do you want your wedding to be really traditional Taiwanese?
No, it sounds really exhausting.
At least keep the tea.
Yeah, no, the tea I'll keep.
And
The
the
culture is
tang
rich, but man, this is so much to remember.
My father saw all the money and stuff, and he was like, this is the money you're giving to? And I'm like, yes, I'm buying her. That's why we're all here.
They see, wow, there's so much money on the table. That means that, oh, you are married to a rich family.
So is Giovanni's 150,000?
That's very good.
Okay, good. Okay, you good boy. But there's still fun parts, okay?
Yeah.
So you guys look like very fun-loving,
Yes.
crazy
Very fun.
couples.
Right.
Do you guys arrange like pre-engagement games for the husband to, like?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Cause when the husband gets in.
Oh wow! What?
Yeah. So the first thing she maybe did is that she knows I can't write in Chinese.
Okay.
And her Chinese name is very hard to write, actually.
no.
So I had like no idea how to do it. I just scribble lines and I would just like, ugh. Yeah. So then the second thing she had me do, cause I came with my bridegrooms, we came together, and she was like, oh, you need to rap a song about me, and she wanted me to. But usually I told her whenever I do music, I always have to have like an idea before.
Right.
But I didn't know this was gonna happen, so I kind of just said anything.
Do you still remember?
No, it
was a
bad.
freestyle?
It was bad. It was something about like.
Wait, did you film it?
We can do the beats.
I was in the room.
Oh right, that's right. I forgot. That's right.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, that time.
Yeah, she couldn't come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
But it was just me saying a couple words,
Like, I was the 老婆，照顾你一辈子。
I love it. No. It wasn't like that. It was, to be honest, it wasn't a good rap.
But it was a heartfelt one.
Yeah. Then after that, we had to put those stockings on her head and dance and do all.
And that part was for what
So-
reason?
For fun.
Yeah, she did it for fun. So yeah, but yeah, looking back, actually was pretty fun because actually when I first got in, I was like, well, I got to do all this. But now that I think about it, it's pretty fun because I actually made our wedding, at least the engagement part,
Yes.
more interesting.
Well, does it mean like the husband needs to go through and make it difficult for him to reach the love of his life?
Right.
In order to cherish more?
Because like from one of my uncles, they went through the same thing.
Yeah.
My dad's the youngest of 4 boys, and he had one little sister. And that guy came to get married. He went to knock on the door, and all the brothers like, go home. She doesn't want you. She doesn't want you. Go home. And he had to stay there. No, I want to get married.
Please give me my bride, please.
But so the price is really heavy.
The price is really heavy. Talking about price, the red envelopes and what do you call 聘金?
Dowry.
Dowry.
That's something that we don't really see in the West anymore,
yeah.
like a dowry. And I don't know if that's what we call it from the Chinese translation, but the closest thing that I understand it as is that people in Taiwan still pay a dowry to the bride's family
Yes.
for marrying their daughter.
So Giovanni, do you?
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of moolah. Is that you?
There was
Hey, not bad, man.
about 150,000 in tea.
Wow.
Yeah.
She give you back?
So this is the thing. I also made a joke with my father because my father saw all the money and stuff, and he was like, this is the money you're giving to? And I'm like, yes, I have to buy her. That doesn't come for free. What do you think? I'm buying her. That's why we're all here. And my father was like, called the so-called cultural shock.
Yes, cultural shock.
And at the end, when everything was over, I thought that was actually a joke. I got it all back.
So your dad was like, no, it's a trap.
But it's very strange. It's very strange for us, you know, especially the West, and we have been Christian or Catholic countries for hundreds of years. Of course, before that, we also had these kind of traditions, but we're talking about
Long time ago.
long time, 2,000 years ago.
In the old days.
Yeah,
Ancient
so
times,
we
right.
completely forgot about it, and,
Yeah.
and for us, it is very strange, the idea that I have to buy my wife.
Yeah. Stefan, I'm sorry, because
Don't worry about
I
it.
don't know what the pingjing or the dowry really comes from. I do understand a bit of that, but is there anything else, like any other reasons?
Okay, the pingjing actually is something that normally people would display in cash. So you see all the cash on the table. So all the family members, when they join and attend the ceremony, they see, wow, there's so much money on the table. That means that, oh, you are married to a rich family. Then you will live happy after ever.
Okay.
So that's why. That's definitely not for sale.
So is Giovanni's 150,000?
That's very good.
Okay, good. Okay, you good
What
boy.
about if you just put a credit card? Will it work?
An Amex? Will it work? Like a platinum?
Or we share.
Silver, platinum, will it work?
AJ, did you prepare?
No.
Oh, angry wife, angry wife.
No, because the reason why I didn't,
knees, AJ. Get on your knees.
I didn't mind, you know, for real though. No, the reason I didn't do it because it's not because, well, one, I didn't want to, but second,
I don't want to.
second was because I would have to explain it to my parents.
Right.
And then if my parents would have come and was like, what's all this money for? I'd have been like, you know, it's just money.
Don't worry
It's money, it's worry. Like, don't worry about it. It's like, but wait a minute, that's a lot of money. I'm like, yeah, I know. Let's just go in the wedding ceremony. So I didn't want to explain like, oh, because of this buying thing. And it would have been kind of a weird conversation. Because I know my parents, they would have been like,
The gap
so you need to
there.
buy her first? I'm like, but I thought she loves you. I'm like, she does, but she needs some assurance. She needs some assurance that I'm not gonna. So that's why I didn't do it. So yeah.
But what matters is the 6 gifts. So you actually bring actual physical gifts to the bride's family. So those are the things that in our traditions.
The husband.
Yeah,
family
it starts
side.
with 6 gifts. Then it depends on how wealthy you are. So it can go from 6 to 12, or to 18 to 24, or even for Giovanni, I think can go
Yeah.
for
36?
hundreds.
108?
Wow.
So the dowry is really just the appetizer.
Yeah, it is.
So these are the beginning. These
Right.
are only the beginning. But there are so many taboos not to touch.
You have to be very,
Yes.
very
Oh,
careful.
Giovanni, I heard you. What happened?
that was a
What
big
happened? Tell us.
It was very weird, actually, that in the Taiwanese tradition, if your friends are married, if you're gonna marry within that month, you're not allowed to be in any other's weddings.
Oh.
Yeah, and your friends, if they're gonna get married soon, they're not gonna come to your wedding.
Really? I never
It's just
heard.
because they don't
I have
have any
friends.
money anymore because they keep on
All right, because you need to
spent all the
prepare
money
your
on.
envelope
They have
and
money.
everything. Yes.
They have money, I tell you, those friends.
Oh,
They didn't come. It's I didn't like that. I had some friends that I really wish they would come to my wedding, but because they were getting married at some time or they had kids, they were pregnant, they just wouldn't show up.
And that's like a
At my
cultural
wedding.
tradition?
It's like, why? So many friends didn't come. And when I want to go to my friends' weddings, it was the same. I couldn't go. They didn't invite me. Your wedding was this month? So, yeah, I didn't invite you. Why? Well, because your wife is pregnant.
really?
But you're not.
Exactly.
I'm just happy.
Food baby. Yes.
So this is something very strange for me. Like, in this situation, you cannot go to other people. I thought it's something like extra positiveness, right?
Yeah.
You have a kid, you're getting married, like very positive energy. But instead, here you're not supposed to attend another wedding.
That's because, you know, each bride or groom, they have their own specific guardian angels. And when you play the video games, sometimes you get a buff.
Right.
You get an enhancement.
Right.
Right? So when you have the enhancement, you have the force, stronger force field. You could ruin other people's force field.
What?
And between guardian angels, there's still, you know, like higher rank and a lower rank. So it's better that you don't clash with each other, so you don't create conflict.
In case it becomes like Mario Kart, and then someone just.
That's the reason why.
Don't want to cause any trouble.
Right.
I don't want to do that.
And for your information, the durations of your buff is like 4 months.
4 months.
Oh, 4
4
months.
months.
So technically, it's a 4-month window where you're not supposed to attend any other celebrations.
Well, at least you can save money.
It's a good to save money.
Save money for the next wedding. Next friend's wedding.
Just get married every year. You know, the ones like, I'm getting married.
Well, they have a 7th month of the lunar calendar,
July.
July,
Right.
which is the month that nobody wants to get married.
Right.
Except if you really want to save money.
Oh, because
everything
are
is
really cheap.
Already?
Because no one wants to pick that month.
I didn't know that.
Because, yes, July. So it's the month of July that.
Oh, no. The 7th month. The 7th month of the lunar calendar.
Of the lunar calendar.
Yeah.
But even till now, we are more
Yes, still.
not that
I think they
traditional. Still?
It's very superstitious.
Yeah.
People believe on that, on that kind of.
right.
Yeah.
Stefan nodding.
Yeah.
Yes.
In our culture, that's the month of the ghost for the dads.
Right.
So for all the
Open the
dads,
gate.
they were locked down,
The gate.
down in the hell, right?
Yeah.
And they're
But
running
the
the world.
ruler, the governor of hell will say, okay, you've been locked down for 11 months.
Right.
So now when it comes to the July, that's
time.
the month that, okay, we open the gate, you can freely travel.
Right.
Take a break.
But you definitely don't want to, when you hold your wedding, you have those invisible ghosts surrounding.
Wow.
Well, it's a party.
Hey,
So it could ruin the party. So that's the reason why
Yes.
people don't tend to get married in July.
Right.
Oh, it's lovely.
I tell
so
you,
nice.
honestly, this is one thing that I didn't want to do. I didn't want to take these pictures.
I say you want to kill me, you want to kill me.
No, I
Hey,
Kill me.
so parents are getting crazy. Saying this. It's superstitious, but
Right.
also very traditional.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, did you guys run into any taboos when you got married?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things with was the black dress thing, because actually, my wife, she wanted to wear like because our whole photo shoot, if you see in the
I say
back.
you want to kill me, you want to kill me.
No, our whole.
Hey,
Kill me.
the parents are getting crazy. Saying this.
I know how it looks. Oh no! But it was her idea. It was her idea.
That was a commitment of respect each other, right?
Bonnie and Clyde?
Say, let me or
Yeah,
kill
she
me.
wanted to do Bonnie and Clyde. She wanted to do Bonnie and Clyde, so that's why she came up with this whole idea.
Wow.
So that was a problem you ran into with the black dress?
Well, that was mainly for the photo shoot.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
it wasn't for the wedding.
It wasn't
like
for the
ceremony.
wedding. It wasn't for the
Okay.
wedding.
But it
I-
was shown in the entrance of
Yeah,
your...
because
Yeah, a wedding card.
yeah, on our wedding cards and also like where we had our photos where people would take pictures. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like it was a huge photo of like.
Like this.
No,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
close. It was close. I had a gun and I had like a hat and I had a cigar in my mouth. And then she was next to me with a gun too.
You rebellious
Welcome
couple.
to our wedding.
So then when people got in to take pictures, they're like, "Oh wow, cool." And it was like this. So yeah. So.
AJ, you're very much into southern Italian culture, I see.
Mafia.
Yeah, it was.
That's so cool. What about Giovanni? I want to see your photo.
My wedding pictures were from...
This
Look at that. This is the traditional dress that we did in Di Hua Jie.
This is something normal, guys.
Oh, yeah, it is traditional.
You guys might want to try this next time.
I can't see. I got
No, we just had a gun. Had a gun.
You got such a
sword.
beautiful wife.
Yes.
Thank you.
And there's so
Thank
much
you.
love in this photo. There's love in that photo too, just a lot of guns too.
Now check this out. We did actually.
Oh, it's lovely.
I tell
so
you,
nice.
honestly, this is one thing that I didn't want to do. I didn't want to take these pictures.
Right.
Because, you know, in the West, we only take the pictures on the day of the
Yeah.
wedding on spot.
Yes.
But here, my wife, she really wanted to take these pictures half a year in advance. So we went and we did one shooting. After that, she was not really happy with the pictures, so we were gonna go back to Italy and we take another round of pictures that my brother took. And they were really bad.
Oh, no.
Not even one day of work under the sun, not one picture. And then I was like, all wait, this is enough. No more picture, people. And then we came back to Taiwan, and there was a famous photographer in Taiwan, and he contacted me, and he says, "Dear Giovanni Uzorong, I hear you're getting married. I would like to sponsor you with another day of Photoshoot." Like that.
3 days.
Not again.
And I told my wife, we don't have to do this. We have. And she says, "I want to do it." And so we did, and we took another day of pictures.
We actually did the same thing for the pictures because my wife got pregnant before, so she goes like, "I don't want to take the picture with the baby." So I was working at the time in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, so she came over there, and we took like pre-wedding picture in Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur, and then we did here when we get married, when we did like the party for friends at the hotel. And and then we went to Italy, do the marriage with the Catholic, with the church and everything. That was a big one because my family was there.
Yeah.
And so we took like 3 kind of different pictures. Same kind of thing.
Never ends, huh?
Yeah, my friend used to make a joke. He was like, tell me you got married 3 times?
So we have the commonly seen beautiful wedding
Right,
photos,
the wedding photos in
warm,
Taiwan,
elegant ones, and we have the rebellious couple.
Right.
You got us.
How was the wedding day like?
Did you have any like gigs or like bands or like special activities you had
I always
planned
got
out?
DJ.
Did you rap? He
Yeah, he
rapped.
rapped.
He
we
rapped,
did.
Yeah, because pretty much, like I said, I mean, we kind of mixed both of them. And one of the parts, we quickly had an argument with this. We had a dance part, me and her had to do. And we actually, pay for someone to come in and teach us to dance. And we got in fights all the time because every time we would start dancing, like, I would be in the wrong foot, she'd be on the right foot, and then we'd go on and on and on and on. Since we had a little bit of conflicts,
Getting there.
because I was tired.
Wow.
I was tired. I'm like, why am I still doing this?
Hey, hold your facial expression. Hello.
Your look is totally, baby, don't let me do this. Baby, don't let me do this. Not again.
Are we done? Are we done?
Almost there. Almost there. Yeah.
So you had a wedding, you got married, you did all the traditions, and you performed for your guests.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's amazing.
Yeah, because we
a
wanted
gig.
to, like I said, we wanted to split it. So that's why we told our parents, like, the engagement, we would do all the traditional stuff.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do, we'll do it. And then the wedding is ours.
Okay.
So then that's why we split it up. And, she wanted to dance and I wanted to rap and perform. Because we wanted ours to be more like a party.
Right. I have a question
Yeah.
for you. Did you have any dress changes at your banquet?
Of course.
How many?
Like 3 sets?
Okay.
Oh my
The
God.
funny thing is that he did the same thing too. Yeah, it was his show. Yeah, he even think like I never seen like a what was it, a bride?
Bridegroom, yeah.
Bridegroom.
Usually like one.
Yeah, it's just a suit.
Yeah.
No, because I kind of like clothes and fashion.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't tell, really?
So my point is that, yeah, so basically when we got married, like, she's like, oh, these are my dresses. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that suit. And she's like, okay, you're finished, I'm gonna do that suit. She's like, all right, I'm like, and that suit. She's like, wait a minute, like, why you need 3 suits? I'm like, you're changing too, why not? We'll just do it together. I mean, come on. So
That's kind of cool, actually. That's
Yeah.
kind of sweet.
That's so being together.
Yeah. Couples that change together stay
Yes.
together.
Yeah.
Sharing.
Exactly.
The funny thing is, last week I attended my sister's wedding. I was all over the place, handling everybody, the elders and the auntie, uncles, and taking shots and everything.
Right.
And I looked to my sister. She was on her seat, like, eating crazily. And I was like, hello, is this my wedding day?
Oh no. She was
Isn't
taking
the
advantage
bride
of that
supposed to-
situation.
And she only had one dress. One to the very end.
Wow.
Beginning to the very end. She was like, no, I'm not gonna do a fashion show. It's too tiring. So you guys, awesome.
Giovanni, did you have to?
No, I didn't change. I was like your aunt. I mean, I didn't want to change, but my wife did. She changed 3 times. Very traditional. The first dress was the white one. Did the entry. Then they get very, very busy at the wedding. You're supposed to eat together, but no.
Nope.
Then she starts. She's about to eat the first bite. I gotta change it.
Yeah.
She goes.
I kept
She goes back, and then she comes after half an hour. She comes back with the red dress. very nice. And then we do all the tables, you know, Jinzhou.
Yeah.
One strong feeling that I got about having the wedding in Taiwan instead of in Italy is that in Taiwan it's so much about the family. The whole wedding in Italy, it's not really like that. Like the family, they give it's all about the two guys, and if you're religious, then it's gonna be the two wedding people and God. It's the kind of the trio, but in here it's really about the family. As we said before, the tangyuan, sitting together with all the family members, talking together, and sitting on that same nice table together, family and family, for those 3 hours. But then we did one thing that was really, really cool. That on the third dress that usually in Taiwan we don't do, we did the thing with the rice.
Oh,
you know?
yes, throwing rice. In the,
So that's very Western.
It's very, very Western. In Italy, we do that. So we walk out of the hall, and everybody on the table, they had a little bowl of rice, and everybody had to throw the rice at us. So in Italy, you know, the rice symbolizes wealth and well-being, so it kind of looks a bit like gold. So we walk out, and they throw the rice.
And they're like...
We walk out like this, and some people, it's obviously they've never done it before, they throw the rice like this. But we made it to the end of the room.
So overall, the biggest difference, Taiwanese wedding that you've been to and your own Western wedding, what are the biggest differences?
It's different culture, obviously, but I think mostly Italian, like in Sicily, the same thing that we do believe about a lot about family. So that's why I felt, when I came over here, I felt kind of touched in this to Taiwan, because like we believe we have the same believer, like the way we take care about families, like Papa, Mama, you know, we do the same thing in Italy. Like especially we do it also in North, everywhere, but especially in South, we have that kind of, and I loved both ways. Like when we did over here, the wedding, the family that I was getting into with my mom and dad here. I don't know if there's much difference that I will say. I mean, it depends how you're seeing it. But
Wow!
In Taiwan, I think it's important. The dress code is very important. It's very different than what you would think.
But it was like I'm just dressed up, you know. And my wife was like, maybe a little bit too much dress.
Maybe overdrive. Maybe put on some sneakers.
Whatever you want. Just shorts, fine for me.
To a lot of foreigners, some confusing things that you have to do arriving at a wedding.
Yeah, they're little details.
Yeah, what are the details?
Well, you can't come empty-handed, that's for sure. And sometimes the gift doesn't have to be big, but it definitely should be red and at least a paper envelope about yay big.
A red envelope.
Under 50,000 is not bad.
Under 50,000 is not bad.
I'm going to invite you to my wedding.
You're not welcome.
The red envelopes.
How
should the guests prepare? How much money should we put in? In order to be, you know, proper.
Of course, the more the better, right?
Right.
Oh, a little quiz.
Okay, so guys, you've been in Taiwan for quite a while. Please choose one amount as your red wedding envelope. A, 4,400, and B, 2,600. What would you choose?
Which is the right amount?
Please raise your hand if you choose A.
Oh, clever room. Raise your hand if you choose B. Hey, good job.
You got them.
Hey, that's not a good number, and two of them.
Why isn't it a good number?
So Chinese, Mandarin, we really care about how words sound, right?
Yes.
And so we do a lot of things with puns. There are auspicious puns, and there's things that we avoid because they sound like unauspicious things. 4 sounds like the word for death, right? Yes. And when it's si, so it sounds too close, so that's a number that you just overall avoid in a red pocket.
Right.
Did I do well?
You did very well. Yes. You are very Taiwanese. Yes.
So aren't there like certain like numbers, apart from the ones we should avoid, like numbers that we should go for? They're lucky numbers too, right, Stefan?
Yeah. Okay,
thank you.
Here's the red envelope. Okay.
I'm the nearest.
Okay.
Oh, you shouldn't.
Hey.
Okay. I think here's a tip for everyone that make sure that the amount for the dollars, for the money you put inside.
Yes.
Is even numbers.
Even numbers.
Important.
Even
Don't
numbers.
go for odd number.
Right, that's for the
Odd
other
is for the dash.
funeral occasion.
Funeral. Even numbers definitely the better for the the
Like
wedding.
6, 8.
6, 8.
But not 4.
Not for.
No.
No,
No,
four.
no 4.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And sometimes we will put some blessing, some good words on the top of the red envelope.
Yep.
Like to who and from who.
Okay, okay.
But the most important part is the central.
Okay.
Like well, you know, in Jedi they have the word saying like may the force be with you.
Right.
But like here I put is may the happiness be with two of you.
Okay.
Happy ever. Always.
Right, so it has to be at the center of the envelope to really
yeah.
have the power to get it
correct.
across. Yeah,
so
okay.
that's how we normally put on the red
Yes.
envelope.
Okay,
That's
okay.
so
Apart
nice.
from the money.
Okay. Oh, very cool. Very
I like being on the bride's table, bride's
Bridesmaid?
friend's table, because I get cookies and I get
Oh, yeah, gifts.
I get gifts. I get bian, like the
yeah.
traditional bride's cake.
Little like souvenirs that are tasty.
Right. Only half of the people get it, actually. Only the bride's friends.
Only the bride's
yeah.
friends, so that's why.
Oh, that's why I didn't know what you were talking about. I thought you were just talking about like coming to a wedding and getting a gift.
No,
I've
no,
never
no,
been
no,
on the
no.
bride's side.
On the bride's side, you get cookies, you get cakes and everything. Like
Yeah.
Lillian's friends gets it,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah,
not
yeah.
AJ's.
So like AJ, what did your groomsmen get instead?
They got a good show.
All
Yeah, they got a good show to my wedding. Yeah. I mean, no, they didn't get anything. But like some of my friends were Taiwanese and some of them from the States.
Okay.
So I kind of told my friends from the States, like, you know, heads up. And also for our wedding too, I told my friends, like, you don't need to bring a red envelope from the States because I don't want to
They
explain that to
travel all
them.
the way, right?
Even though the funny thing is actually, that's the one thing I like about, you know, Taiwanese weddings.
Just getting money.
Getting money.
You want to
So-
combine
money.
together.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, if I get my friends from the States and Taiwan, put it together, how much do I got? But I'm like, I
You
can't.
can bring those good dollars.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah,
You
maybe.
is dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I couldn't explain it to them. It'd be kind of awkward. So
Right.
they didn't really do it. But
Okay.
yeah, they.
Oh, you're a good friend.
So what are the tips you would get? Give your friends if they want to get hold a wedding in Taiwan? What are the tips you would give them?
I would say just know that you're gonna spend a lot of time, you know, and of course make sure you pick the right girl, of course.
Okay. Yeah.
You don't wanna.
That's not square one, right? That's square one.
Say it again. Give you another
You
tip. So
gotta pick the right
AJ,
girl,
what are the
but-
tips you'd give your friends if they want to
Pick
hold
the
a
right
wedding
girl.
in
No, I
Taiwan?
say in Taiwan because you know there's so much work you have to do. So
Yeah.
it would be
Preparing,
terrible if you gotta
planning,
do it like
yeah.
another time and another time.
Right,
By
so-
the third time, you're gonna be like, let's just not get married. Let's just
It's too much
we'll
work.
get together. Just call it like that.
So it
Yeah.
really kind of forces you in a social way to like, just get married this one time, okay? It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Lillian's
I mean,
face was like,
Yeah. Kind of getting.
I know. I'm listening.
you feel the
The
pressure.
gun is ready.
Oh wow.
It's loaded.
What about Giovanni?
I would like to give a tip to any friends who are gonna go to attend a wedding in Taiwan. I think it's important. The dress code is very important. It's very
Yes.
different than what
It
you
is.
would think.
It is.
Yeah, that's true.
In the West, because in the West, on the wedding day, you're gonna try to be dressed the best you can.
Very
In Italy,
formal.
we really
Correct.
Right.
You know,
Suit, tie.
perfect,
yeah.
right?
Shoes,
Everybody's like Hollywood.
Yeah.
And,
Taiwan wearing jeans.
yeah, but in Taiwan, you don't want to do that.
Yep.
They were too much. They were thinking you
Yeah,
are too
because
much.
the
right.
main guy,
The groom.
the groom,
or the
you
bride.
don't want to
Yeah.
take away the spot.
take
You
away the
don't want to
spot.
overdo
It
it.
is.
So,
It is.
you know, just take a step back. Don't be too handsome
Right,
or
right.
too pretty. You
He
know.
always do that. He doesn't care. He always want to be like.
He wants to be the spot.
Well, I think
not about
I
the
think it's
spot,
just a
it's-
personality. Sometimes, you know, when I
Yeah.
went to a wedding, sometimes I do put a tie because it's normally a dress. I
Yes.
put a tie, and you know, sometimes. And yeah, my wife one time told me because lately I went to a. Which was good because I went to a same-sex marriage. There were two girls, so I didn't have to overstep to the guy because there were two girls. So but it was like I'm just dressed up, you know. Tell my wife was like maybe a little bit too much dressed.
Oh yeah. Maybe lose the
Maybe
tie.
overdrive, maybe
Put on some
just
sneakers.
have a dress, just put it- whatever you want. Just shorts, fine for me.
Stefan, what
Yeah.
are the colors that we should and shouldn't wear at a wedding?
Okay, I think most important of all, the color of white and red.
Yep.
It's exclusive to the bride.
Right.
So you don't want to take away the spot, right? And definitely no black. No,
black.
do not dress in all black because that's for funeral.
Right. Okay.
So in Taiwan, no white, no red,
No
during the
black.
wedding,
No
and no
black.
black as well.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, it's only 3 colors. Still got a bunch to choose
That's
from. It's
easy.
easy. Yeah, it's
That's
easy.
easy. Yeah.
You guys make getting married sound really easy. I'm not that worried anymore.
Do they? Do they?
I'm being sarcastic.
But hey, I think no matter what kind of wedding, you want a Western, want a traditional Taiwanese, it's all about the right people.
Right.
And, you know, two
That's
families
correct.
being together.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. You know, I think it's just you can make a simple, or you can make a traditional.
Yes.
Right.
When I said to my wife when you got married, I say, baby, it's just me and you.
Oh.
I say,
lovely.
our son can be there, but when he grow up, he's gonna go away.
Right.
You know, mom and dad, Andre here's maybe they're not gonna be
Right.
here. So it's what do we want for this wedding? How
Yes.
do we want to do this?
Yeah.
And that's how we did. That's why, because we did it in kind of simple, but we did 3 times. three simple times.
Oh, man. Yes.
I'm not gonna do it again, but yeah. So, but it was. I think that's what I will say. If people want to get married here in Taiwan,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lovely country, lovely people. It's
Yeah. There's a lot of different
right.
traditions to kind of honor and
Yeah.
observe. And then as we go on, we can decide which ones we find are more
Correct.
important to us, and we
Yes.
can choose and
Yes.
pick,
Yes.
put our wedding together like Enzo did and like you guys did as well.
So guys, if you're watching and you want to come to Taiwan, you happen to meet your love in Taiwan and you
Just-
want to get married immediately.
Just be prepared.
Be prepared and go to the lunar calendar,
Yeah.
pick the red dates, and everything will be fine. Okay?
Thank you,
money.
Yay!
Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next week on
Wow, Taiwan.